Hello everybody, welcome back to Finnegan's Farm and welcome back to YouTube channel. Myself and Dad, we're over here in Chicago.
Yeah.
We're gone north of Chicago.
Yeah, north of Chicago. Gone to Racine, which is it's an experience centre for the Case IH tractors. And what an experience. We're going to go in and we're going to meet Scott. Sent him an email there and he says, yeah, come ahead boys. The factory's in Chicago. We'll take us on a bit of a tour.
Yeah.
As you can see in the background here, we have a big 540.
Which is one we would have seen when me, Joe, Hubble and I went to England.
And the guys are doing some testing as well there in the background, just kind of testing out suspensions that on the tractor. So we're here at the Racine Experience Centre and I'm with Scott. Scott has kindly, on the last minute, and we've only kind of flew in here last minute, and to be fair to him, we're in Racine and this is some spot in here, I have to say. We're going to start off a quick little tour and maybe start at the beginning first with the steam thrashers, isn't that it?
Yeah. So we're very fortunate here at the Racine Experience Center that we are basically kind of showing where did Case IH start, where are we today, and kind of where we're going in the future. It really did start, I would say, when we talk about mechanized equipment with steam engines. And Case really kind of put its name on the map when it came to mechanized machinery with a steam engine. Actually, in the late 1800s, Case, J.I. Case, was the largest manufacturer of steam engines in the world. And that basically again was that step to going from what was maybe driven by horses to really being more of a steam-powered, mechanized threshing.
Yeah, well, we see here when we open the lid. This is when you would traditionally put your wood or your
coal. The coal and the or wood would be put in from the backside, and this would just be more of a of an access for being able to your steam would be evaporating up through the top of the machine.
Very good. A very impressive piece of equipment. I'd say a heavy piece of equipment too.
Yes.
A lot of steel in it.
Yes.
I was fascinated by the steering system on it here too, with the way it's done with the chains.
Yes, it is quite a heavy machine, about 29,000 pounds on a very small footprint. And again, this you could picture this running through the field, but it would be tethered with a threshing machine. That you basically be feeding that machine to say basically separate the wheat from the chaff.
Okay. Well, look, we're going to move on. So now we move on to a Case car, which I never thought Case produced, but when I come in here and I see it.
Yeah. So Case, J.I. Case back in the day, for a period of about 10 years, ended up producing cars. We did around 14,000 cars from about 1914, or actually about 1913 through 1923, and produced around 27,000 vehicles. And what it was really known about, it was a very luxurious vehicle at the time, but I would say it was really known for its engine. That actually this Case cars ran in the first Indianapolis 500, and there are a variety of them. The machine, the one that we have here, the Model N, is one of 5 really known to exist in the world today.
Very good. Yeah, it's a lovely bit of equipment, I have to say.
And it does run.
It does run.
It does run. We had it running. Actually, everything in here, with the exception of a few pieces, still run and operate.
Very good. Yeah, no, it's a lovely piece. So Scott, we move on to the Spirit of 76.
So Spirit of 76 was in celebration of our bicentennial for the Case company. At that time, we were starting kind of down the idea of not just the equipment, but how to promote that equipment and tie it to historical moments in our history. And so this machine was really kind of the start of that. I'd say on the Case Corporation side, and so this was a machine that was quite popular. This is the original one that we have been using parades and in various marketing events that we would do around the country. This was available, I would say, from in the 76, 78 time frame.
So these two tractors, Scott, are
Well, they have a lot of meaning.
Lot of meaning, yeah.
Yeah, so
Very special.
So this 5488 is the absolute last tractor that came out of Farmall Works in Rock Island, Illinois. This 5488 has very few hours on it, and it is a unit that when people come and they take a look at it and look at the refinement of the trim, I would say it is a tractor that emulates the kind of where tractors have evolved to as we look even today. It's got a premium level cab in it. There's a lot of fine detail that when you climb in this cab and you look at the leather and the stitching, it is a very clean, very immaculate tractor, and a tractor that was extremely popular with producers at that time frame, and even yet today. There's a lot of these still running today.
Okay.
As we go into the next tractor next to it, this is really the start of when Case Corporation and International Harvester came together. This really is the first tractor that was available in red after the two companies had merged back in the late 80s.
Yep.
And it was really the start of how the two companies evolved and started coming together as one company. So this tractor was available both in red and in white at that time.
Right. The 7130, Scott, still a very, very popular tractor.
Yes, and actually this one here is what I would say is the oldest one in existence. This is what would be considered tractor number 2.
Oh.
This is a unit that has less than 100 hours on it. It was used for creating service bulletins. It was used for doing some dealer training, just a little bit of testing. But it is one that we've been able to hold on to, and it really is the foundation of what Case IH has become, and really is the foundation of the Magnum tractor that we have today. It is also like a lot of the first, when we talk about like A-post exhaust, accessibility for servicing was again a foundation of what you still see in today's Magnum product line.
Very good. And that was the first one that the combination between Case and
Yes,
and
it is one that when you have two companies and two different cultures, it is the one that basically you took the best pieces of both the International Harvester history and the Case Corporation side that brought these companies together, and have really made us who we are today as a strong company bringing successful products to the market.
The Farmall range, then, they were up to a certain horsepower, were they?
Yeah, so that was really the foundation when you look at historically of, say, the small tractor and bringing rubber wheeled and mechanized tractors into a greater number of farms.
Yep.
International Harvester really did some solid work on developing a very great tractor that has stood the test of time. We are celebrating 100 years of Farmall. The one that you've got your hand on right now is the oldest known Farmall to exist. This is Q503, and we have a kind of a special exhibit here at the Experience Center because of the 100-year celebration of the Farmall brand.
Mm-hmm. But they're still very popular, the Farmall range, even.
Yes. Yep. So we've it started with the Q503. It has moved into others to where you had other like F12, F20, and then you started getting into the letter designations of Farmall H, Farmall B, which really carried on into, I'd say, about the late 80s. It did go away for a little bit. We reintroduced it here in around 2003, 2004, and basically the Farmall name has again stood as really what our small tractors are within the marketplace.
Very good, very good. So 120 years later, Scott, we see a big change to this.
Yeah. So 2016, we kind of showed the world kind of where we envision technology possibly going, and and it continues to be a focus of the companies as it relates to autonomous vehicles. But it is something that as we look at, is again a snapshot of where we see it could possibly go, and we're just very happy to be able to have it in our display here at the Experience Center.
Yeah, no, it's a fine machine, I have to say. Again, there's always going to be regulatory problems, maybe say, when having something like this on a farm, as you know, but it's futuristic, that's one thing about it.
Yes.
So just before we tip off, look at Scott, it's been a pleasure coming in here, it's been a pleasure talking to you, you're a world of knowledge. Well, in fairness, and this is your baby, I think, as well. Listen, you look after the Experience Center here.
Well, I'm blessed to be the caretaker of what we've got here, and again, thanks for visiting. And hopefully you can come back and join us for a tour at some point.
Yeah, well, definitely we will be back. As I said to him, when the tours open up, we'll be back and we'll bring a few as I'm sure we'll have another bit of back. But look, thanks very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Look at the size of this thing. Woo. Lovely red leather, seeing it too. It's big, it's locked down now, but it's one fine machine.
So just on behalf of myself, obviously I've been away for too long now, and I think it's time to come home. So this time next week I may be back home in Ireland.